solving problems with trigonometry. So in this case, we are now going to be told what to use, right? So we're going to have to read the question, we're going to have to draw a picture, we're going to have to see what's given to us, and then we're going to have to decide what trig we're going to use. Is it trigonometry, the primary trig ratios? Is it going to be the sine law? Is it going to be the cosine law? So it all depends on what is given to us. Okay? So the first thing you want to do when you're solving a trig problem is state the given information, any other problem, and draw a picture. Choose the appropriate method to solve the problem, right? So if you're going to have to ask yourself these questions. Do I have a right triangle? If the answer for that is yes, then you're going to have to go to what? If you have a trig, the trig ratios, okay? So SOHCAHTOA, the primary trig ratios, okay? So use the primary trig ratios. Which is SOHCAHTOA. Now, also, we can use the Pythagorean theorem, which I don't think I have covered here, but we've covered that earlier in the semester when we did the review. Do not forget that this is also something that you can use when you have two sides and you're looking for the third side in a right angle triangle. Do you guys remember the Pythagorean theorem? So when you have a right angle triangle and you're given side A and B, and let's say you're looking for side C, which is always the hypotenuse. So what is it? Do you remember it? A squared
Plus b squared equals c squared.
That's right. Did we cover it at the beginning of this unit or
No,
not?
that's what I did.
Yes, last. Okay. Now, also you can have different variation of it. It depends on if you are given the hypotenuse and you're given one of the sides, then you can look for the second side. Let's say if you're looking for b, so it's going to be b squared equals c squared minus a squared, and this is where a lot of the mistakes happen. Okay? Because remember that c squared is your hypotenuse. If you're looking for b, you're going to bring the a squared over, it's going to become minus a squared. And then if you're looking for side a, it's going to be c squared minus b squared. So primary trig ratio, SOHCAHTOA, or the Pythagorean theorem, and that's only if you are given two sides in the right angle triangle, you're looking for the third. So for the non-right angle triangle, what do we use? What are the laws that we can use? Sine law or cosine law? So the sine law, can you guys remind me of the sine law? What does it say? What's the formula for it? A over sine A, B over or it could be the other one, which is the inverse of that. And these can be used when you have one pair of opposite side and angle plus one more piece of information. Okay? So remember that in this case, if you don't have an angle and its opposite side, you can't solve this. So you must have an angle and its opposite side, and either another side or another angle. Sometimes though, they give you this. Sometimes they give you this with this angle, this you do 180 minus the two angles. That gives you this angle, and now you can use your sine law because you have an angle on its opposite side. So with the sine law, the angle on the opposite sides are the important information that you need. And then you're going to look at, am I looking for another side? Then I can use the first law right here, A over sine A equal B over sine B. Or if I have an angle, I'm looking for an angle, then I can use the second formula. Are we okay with that? Then the third law that we can use, or the second law that we can use, right angle triangle is the cosine. And the cosine law, which is, there's many variations of it, but we're gonna just write one. So it's a squared equal b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Can be used when two sides and a contained angle are given, or when you have all three sides. So remember, in this case, you must have the two sides and the angle between them, okay? And then if you have all three sides, then you can solve it using cos A equals to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc, okay? Again, there's like different variations of the formula. It just follows the same. So this formula can be used whenever I'm looking for a side, given the two sides and the angle, and this formula can be used whenever I'm given the three sides. So this is kind of a mind map of what questions you have to ask yourself and what to do once you answer that question. So the first question you have to ask yourself, is the triangle a right triangle? If the answer is yes, then we know it's primary trig ratios or Pythagorean theorem. If the answer is no, are you given two angles or one angle on the opposite side? If the answer is yes, it's the sine law. If the answer is no, then it must be the cosine. Variable, so whenever you're solving, right, and then if it's asking you, let's say if you have angle A, and then it's asking you for side A, and then it gives you side B, side C, right? These are the given information, then you're going to solve for side A. You're going to have to make sure that the answer makes sense in the context of the question. And you're going to write a final statement. Remember that whenever we're looking at word problem, we're looking at the grasp method, which is like given, required, and then your formula, and then you're solving, and then you're writing a statement. So let's look at the first example, and let's try to model how to solve that example. So from the top of the Niagara Escarpment, one sees a car below at an angle of depression of 40 degrees. He's approximately 100 meters above the car. How far is the car from the base of the escarpment? Round your answer to the nearest meter. So what do I start by trying? The angle of elevation, or you mean the angle of depression? So where is Juan? Where's Juan? Where is he standing? At the top of the escarpment. So basically that's like a top, right? So this is where Juan is, right? So if I'm talking about this, so this is the tower and the ground. So how would I draw the ground?
Straight.
Horizontal, right? So what is the angle that's forming between the ground and the tower? All right there. Okay. Here's the car. And then if one's looking down, the angle of depression is 40 degrees. What did we say an angle of depression is a measure from?
From the point.
Look back at the first lesson. When I introduced angle of depression, what did we say we measure it from? From the horizontal line. Remember that? So if one is standing right there and he's looking at the car, there is a horizontal, imaginary horizontal line coming out of his eyes, right? And the angle of depression, which is this, is 40 degrees. Okay? So I'm standing right here, I'm looking at the car, there is an imaginary horizontal line coming out of my eyes, right? And that angle is the angle of 40 degrees.
Why is not the inside part?
Because that's not an angle of depression. An angle of depression is the one that's measured from the horizontal.
Okay.
Okay? This is a vertical line. So it's not that. What would that be then? Why is it 50?
Because the right angle.
That's right. So if you look at this, this is a 90 degree. It's a horizontal and a vertical, right? Horizontal and a vertical, they make 90 degrees. So if this is 40, then what would this be? Then this would be 50. Okay? One is approximately 100 meters above the car. So that's his height, right? Because the car is on the horizontal line. So 100 meters is above that horizontal line. So the question is asking how far is the car from the base of this carpet. So this is where the base is, and this is where the car is. So what am I looking at? Or I'm looking for? What am I solving for? So how do I name my triangle? What kind of triangle do I have?
Right angle.
Okay, so what do I have to use when I have a
Trig ratio.
trig ratio? And trig ratios, what do I need?
So where's
Opposite.
the
Hypotenuse, adjacent. Where is my angle of interest? Which is what?
car?
Where is my angle of interest? The angle that's given to me. 50. 50 is my angle of interest or angle of focus, right? So that's the angle that's given to me. Okay? Now, with respect to that 50, where's your opposite, where's your adjacent, where's your hypotenuse?
The opposite is where the question mark is.
Where the question mark is. So that's your opposite. Okay?
And the adjacent will be 100.
So the 100 meter is your adjacent. Right? This is the hypotenuse. I don't really care about it because this is not what I'm looking for or the one that's given to me. Okay? So, with respect to the 50 degrees, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent, the 100 meter. Which ratio deals with opposite and adjacent? 10. So then I'm going to use the 10. What's my opposite? I don't know. What's my adjacent? Okay. How do I solve for my opposite? Multiply 100 by 10, 50. Remember, it's on the top that you're looking for, so you're going to multiply 100 by 10, 50.
So last where we
Where did we get the 50 from? So you see how this is the escarpment and this is the horizontal line? This is a 90 degree, right? Because one is horizontal, the other one is vertical, so it forms 90. Okay? If this part of the 90 is 40, what do I have left for this part? So you do 90 minus 40. So basically you have this is 90, and I took 40 of it out. Okay? So if this is 40, then you have 50 left, because 50 plus 40 gives me 9. Okay? So that tells me that, therefore, the car is 119.2 meter away from the base